I'm in Shenandoah National Park, and this is the South River Overlook. This is mile marker 62. There's my little red car, and I'm going to park it right here at the overlook, and I'm going to walk north just a little ways and see if I can find the Dry Run Falls Fire Road on the left. And I'm planning to hike down Dry Run Falls Fire Road to look for the Lost Cliffs and then further down the waterfalls. So let's get started. The elevation here is 2950. So yeah, just walked north about 100 yards. There's the parking area down there at the overlook. And right up here, when you come up here, look to the left, and you'll see this fire road right here. We're going to head up this way. Seven-tenths of a mile into my hike. I'm down to a 2680 elevation. There's where I came from, down the fire road. It's pretty wet and sloppy coming down here right now. In fact, some areas it's running like a river. Anyway, this spot here is called the Lost Cliffs. When you're coming down, it's off to the right. So, I don't know, when I come back up this way, if I have time, maybe I think you can get up there if you just go up that way to the right and climb and do a little minor rock climbing. You can get up there. The Lost Cliffs. But for now, I'm going to continue to go on down the west side of the mountain here until I get down to a jumping off point, and then I'm going to bushwhack my way down, see if I can find the waterfalls. Down about another mile. .4 miles into my hike, I'm down to 2580 elevation. And these are the headwaters of Dry Run, and it's definitely not dry today. There's the road I came down on. And right here is where the road crosses over. There's some pipes there, so it looks like I can get across okay. And then the road takes a hard bend to the left, and we start following Dry Run. So we're going to go down on the road another 3/10 of a mile or so until I hit a jumping off point, and then I'm going to bushwhack down to the waterfalls. I'm not sure exactly where they are, but we'll just follow it until we find them. 1.7 miles into my hike, I'm down to 2480 elevation. Here's where I came from, down the fire road. And I'm about halfway around this sharp right-hand turn. There's heading down the side of the mountain. I'm about halfway around the bend. And this is about as close as I can get to where I think the falls are from the road. So I've been looking around for a convenient place to bushwhack down, but I don't see one. So, whoo, I'm just going to jump off here and see if I can find my way down to the water. Let's see what happens. Okay, well, I'm down to dry run. That's where I came from. It's pretty steep getting down here. Anyway, I got to study my maps and my GPS a little bit, try and figure out if I'm upstream or downstream of the falls. I'm hoping to be upstream, but let me study that for a few minutes and I'll decide which way I'm going to head. .6 miles into my hike. I'm back up to 2690 elevation. I'm back to the Lost Cliffs area. There's the cliffs up there. Here's where I came from, up from Dry Run. Man, that was some pretty extreme bushwhacking I did back there. I took a bunch of video and still pictures of the waterfalls and stuff. It's pretty extreme bushwhacking. So I didn't even bother to do any narration. The noise was so loud from the waterfalls and stuff, I'm not even so sure you could hear me down there. So I just let the video do the talking. Anyway, I'm going to sit here, and I was going to eat some lunch, but I think I'm just going to sit here and drink some water. It's about another 6/10 of a mile back up to my car, which is up that way. And I'm just going to load up on some water, and then I think I'm going to go back up to my car, go down the west side of the mountain down to Elkton, Virginia, and maybe look at the memorial chimney that they just dedicated last Sunday, and maybe grab a burger in Elkton. I'll explain more about the waterfalls and stuff when I do the map talk. I got some pretty good shots though, I think. This is the Dean, D-E-A-N Cemetery in Shenandoah Park. Looks pretty well cared for. I've never stopped by to see this one before. Real nice. I'm in Elkton, Virginia, on the west side of the Blue Ridge, and this is the Rappahannock County Shenandoah Memorial Chimney. They just dedicated it last Sunday. Real nice looking. I'll get some close-ups. Now I'm in Stanley, Virginia. This is the Page County Shenandoah Memorial Chimney. And those mountains in the background are part of Shenandoah National Park. Looks like they've planted some trees and stuff here now. I can't move around much because it's like a swamp out here from all the rain. This is a map of today's hike. The quadrangle name is Elkton East 1997, and I hiked down to Dry Run Falls. And this has got some serious bushwhacking in it, so not for the faint of heart. This red line here is Skyline Drive, and you park right here at the South River Overlook. That's mile marker 62. I came in from the bottom at Swift Run Gap, which is US 33, and once you come into park, you head north just a couple miles, and you'll end up right here. You just park at the Overlook, and then walk north on Skyline Drive, maybe 100 yards, and start looking to the left, and you'll see the fire road come in here. This road has a tendency to get tall. It's not used very much, I don't think, by the park, so it gets a lot of tall grass. Today was maybe about a foot high. But the main thing today was we've had a lot of rain here lately, and so this road was really wet and sloppy, and in some places it was running pretty much like a stream. So if it's been raining at all, I would wear waterproof boots. That's what I did today. Anyway, when you get down to about here, if you look over to the right, you'll see this large formation of rocks known as the Lost Cliffs. Now, if you go in from the right and come up this way, I think you can climb up on top of them. And I've read that the view is pretty good from up there. I didn't bother with that today. So anyway, you just come on down the road, descending all the way until you get to here. When you get to here, this is where Dry Run Headwaters crosses the road. There's a couple of pipes there, metal pipes, so most of it goes through the pipes, but when it's a heavy flow, this can flood out also. Anyway, you cross over here and continue on the fire road until you get down to here. Now when you get down to here, this road takes a sharp bend to the right. It's like a 90-degree turn, or maybe even more. About halfway around the turn, you're going to have to bushwhack more or less straight down until you find Dry Run. And then once assuming you go about halfway around the bend and bushwhack straight down, then the falls will be downstream from you. So this area right in through here is where the waterfalls are. It's really a series of cascades. There's a couple of places where it actually has a vertical drop, but most of it's just real steep cascades. But it's really nice down in through there. This canyon is really, really steep, and there is no trail, and it's got a lot of undergrowth. There's a lot of thorny bushes and things, slippery leaves, slippery rocks with moss, you name it. So it's like major bushwhacking in through here. Might be better to try it in the wintertime, to tell you the truth. But even then, it's not going to be easy because this is really steep and really rocky along through here. I mean, there's some places where you can't follow the stream unless you're going to walk in it. You're going to have to climb up and go around it, you know, like this. And so then after that, I just retraced my steps all the way back to my car. Now, it's not shown on this map, but when I headed south to go out of the park, when you come down here about a half a mile, off this way is the Dean Cemetery. I took a few pictures of that cemetery. Then I left the park, went down the west side of the mountain to Elkton, Virginia, and took a look at the Memorial Chimney. That's Rockingham County, and they built a memorial chimney down in Elkton. There was 8 counties in Virginia that were affected by the creation of the Shenandoah National Park, and each one of the 8 counties is building memorial chimneys. So I took some pictures of the Elkton, and then I drove north on US 340 up this way, up the Shenandoah Valley. And when I got to Stanley, Virginia, I also took a couple of pictures of the Page County Memorial Chimney, included those in the video for today. This is a real nice hike. I mean, this area is really nice down through here, but it's extremely steep. It's not family friendly at all. So, and it does involve some major bushwhacking. And that was the hike for today.